Toronto is the USA of Canada because they think they're the center of the universe. Here we go, part 2. Americans who, they forgot. I guess we forgot the rest of the world exists. They're like David Benioff and DB Weiss. All the things that they forgot. You know, Danny kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. America kind of forgot that the rest of the world exists. And of course, everybody knows they are the center of the universe. Smack dab in the middle. All the aliens driving their spaceships by, they look down at Earth and they only want to see the US. They don't want to look anywhere else. All right, let's continue with the list. Hope everybody's doing good. Make sure to like and comment down below. Let's get it. Let's go. My name is Mace, by the way. Canadian, coming to you from British Columbia. I don't profess to be an expert, but I do profess to be a humble dude. So let's go. Say it with me. The internet is not American territory. I like the way the second commenter put it. It's called soccer. This is America. Get it right. The internet isn't American territory. Lols. Yeah. Americans in thinking that the internet is a exclusively US place to make comments. Or a place for Americans to make comments. Classic. Ozzy, famously an American musician, whose birth... that was funny. Ozzy, famously an American musician, whose birth and death dates would use an American format. Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness, 3rd of December, 1948 to the 22nd of July, 2025. Let the madness begin. Yeah, what a legend. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, just incredible music. What a performer. And I think about the bat eating thing. I need to look more into that. Doesn't he have a cameo in Little Nicky, the Adam Sandler film, where he's obsessed with that fried chicken joint? That movie made me actually like fried chicken more. The commenter, the American, says, you have his birth date wrong. It's 12/3/48. Yes, you have it wrong. You can't possibly have a different opinion. You know, let me just share my bigoted and silly opinions online. I hope this is a joke. For those who want to see Ariana's popularity all over the world, here it is. Ariana Grande. All over the world. And a map of the United States. And Alaska and Hawaii. What? Why? And I hope this person was a troll. Number 26. Non-Americans have read it. What is your country doing to celebrate the 4th of July? This sentence is packed with so much idiocy. It's hard to... Non-Americans of Reddit. What is your country doing to celebrate the 4th of July? You know, America really isn't something we think about unless it insists itself by doing dumb shit on the world stage, right? And I'm not singling America out in that. I'm talking about any country. Yeah, he's right. You know, foreigners... The thing with the U.S. is they just elected, for the second time, a president who's doing a pretty bang-up job for just worst human in the history of humans. So that's why a lot of eyeballs are looking that way. Similar to a train crash or a car crash. You can't help but look. You have to see the outcome. You want to see the destruction. You want to see the damage. That's like the U.S. You know, they're a fiery plane crash. It's just, you know... And pretty soon... All right. 27. At least this person knows that bans in other countries exist and that this question was potentially dumb, but I'm still a little disappointed that they asked it. Can a ban that is unknown in the United States but big in the rest of the world be considered successful? Can a ban that is... What? Of course they can be considered successful. What? Very, very... Yeah. You know, it's in the Reddit, no stupid questions, but that was a stupid question. Let's admit. When... That phrase I always found interesting. Oh, no dumb questions here. There's no stupid questions. In fact, there is. You're just trying to make the people that ask stupid questions feel better, which is fine, I guess. A little compassion for people that ask stupid questions. 28, newsflash. Many countries use so-called military time as the standard. Average military time, Samsung user. I just call it a 24-hour clock. Why the F you using military time, bruh? It's currently 3:19, and I'm writing to tell you that 24-hour time is the standard in about half of the world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care. I use what's on my phone. What's on my phone? Well, you can't tell right now because it's just 12:53. But when it becomes 1, it's going to say 1300. I use a 24-hour clock. I worked in airports for a long time, and I worked as a 911 emergency services police dispatcher. So we always use the 24-hour clock. Whoa, cat is hungry. Wow, there haven't been more than 6 wars throughout human history. Good for humanity. What is the most interesting war, in your opinion? Art, culture, and history. World War II. Obviously, America, like... Yeah, there's only 6 wars listed. And they're all fairly recent. And just the very, very generalized... What civil war? There's been dozens, if not hundreds, of civil wars throughout history. So this poll... Yeah, it's an American poll for Americans who are very America-centered. Yes, classic. Yes, there are nations other than the U.S. You can't say nationwide if it's not in the U.S. What? Somebody replied, huh? If you listen to the first 3 seconds of the video, he says it's nationwide at Subway. Nationwide means throughout the nation they're in, so not like the world. Yeah, context matters. Devil's in the details. The Super Bowl is not watched by, quote, the whole world, unquote, in case you didn't know. Drake watching Kendrick perform Not Like Us in front of the whole world. Yeah, I've never watched the Super Bowl. Occasionally I'll see highlights and clips of the halftime show. I did find it quite hilarious that Mega were like so pissed off with the Bad Bunny performance. Why is he speaking Spanish? This is an outrage. Like, they just get worked up over the most trivial, petty, and stupid things. And they constantly are hypocrites. Just constantly. Constantly contradict themselves. I did find that... I'm not even going to mention what I was going to say. 32. Once again, currency is not the same worldwide. Is $99 a month a good price for what? Martial arts class? They said I can go to any classes I want throughout the week. Practically unlimited, I guess. 99 what? 99 yen? Excellent price. $99 if we're talking in the context of American dollars or Canadian dollars. In my opinion, that would be a good price. I would pay 99 Canadian if I wanted to go to martial arts classes. I pay about $60 for my gym membership per month. So it seems reasonable if you're doing that many classes. 33. Bro, I barely even learned any Texas history in Massachusetts. Cam Bird says, I thought everybody took Texas history in 7th grade, regardless of where you grew up. This phrase is amazingly American. Texas history. Did they really take Texas history classes? God. 34. The audacity required to call someone else a dumbass while yourself not understanding the basic concept of time zones. Infinite. It's Friday night, dude. Go talk to a woman. Says the Redditor posting at midnight Eastern Standard Time. There's more time zones than one, dumbass. It's Friday night no matter where you are, dumbass. And here you are being a dipshit on Reddit. So they can't fathom that, when it's daytime where you are, other people in the world are sleeping, or, it's nighttime. There's many different time zones. I know the Philippines is, I believe, 14 hours ahead. Maybe 15. I could be wrong. 14 or 15 hours ahead. I usually do, so it's 12:57 p.m. here in Canada on the West Coast. So it'd be 12:57 a.m. plus 4. So, yeah, 4:57 a.m. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. I might be wrong by an hour. Time in Philippines. 3:57 a.m. Damn. So, okay. Right. 15 hours ahead. Right? Right. Okay. 35. You wanted more audacity? You got it. As a 19-year-old woman myself, no, we're not adults. At least not as adult as someone who is in their 50s. Okay, there's people could debate this. Yep, so selectively an adult. Hey, I can drink and vote, but fuck me, I'm too much of a dumbass to decide who I want to date. And F, 19-year-olds can't drink. Your lack of critical thinking is astounding. It depends where you are, right? In the US, 19-year-olds can't drink. In Canada, they can. In a lot of European countries, it's much younger than that. They don't have such a problem with alcoholism. And they say that the human brain doesn't fully develop until 25 years old, from what I understand. That's what I've heard anyways. So a 19-year-old is a adolescent, pretty much, right? If we're assuming anything is fake that does not match our specific experience, we are so cooked. Bro, 999 is not the emergency number. 911 is the emergency number. So this video is fake. 999 is the emergency number is it in the UK and a lot of other European countries, I believe. Oh, it's the one for the UK. The US isn't the only country in the world. Okay, smartass. They could have just put, this is from the UK. Or you could just not assume everything is related to the USA. You could assume that. I don't know. It could be an idea. I don't know. Just a thought, right? Please tell me this person was being deliberately obtuse. I see a little map of Australia. Socially accepted states to name your child after. I don't get it. That's Australia, not the States. Bro, all countries have states, not just the US and Canada. I swear y'all are living in your own world in the US. Socially accepted states to name your child after. And there's a picture of Australia. All countries have states. It's always so easy to... I mean, all countries don't have states. I don't like... Scream it with me from the rooftops. Other countries exist. World of statistics. Most popular sitcoms of all time. They're just all American sitcoms. Yeah. You know, they haven't heard of Faulty Towers or you know, I'm not going to go on naming sitcoms. I'm not some sort of sitcom aficionado, but every single one of these are just your standard primetime American shows. The Office also was originally a British show. You know, Ricky Gervais. And the original is quite good. You know, it's much more subtle. The Americans, they don't handle subtlety very well, do they? Friends, never watched. I will say that The Office, the UK one is good, and the American one is good. Come on, Steve Carell. Fantastic stuff. Futurama, I watched it here and there. The Simpsons creators, right? Big Bang Theory, never watched. Modern Family, never watched. Seinfeld, of course, man. Seinfeld. Crane, Sign. Ugly Betty, never watched. Rick and Morty, never watched. The Simpsons, of course I watched. It's still on the air somehow. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I watched a little bit. Community is fantastic. How I Met Your Mother, never watched. South Park is goated. And MASH is an American army sitcom. This country, which exactly? Censoring free speech. Unpopular opinions. Since when did censoring free speech become acceptable in this country? We used to allow people to express themselves, their ideas, and their opinions. Why did that change? It would be helpful. That's what I was going to ask. It would be helpful to know which country you're in. Americans forgetting the rest of the world exists again. Yeah, I agree. We need to know what country you're talking about. Americans love talking about their free speech. That's one of their big talking points. And then they only like certain free speech, though, especially the MAGAs. They don't like all free speech. Some free speech is more free than other free speech. The default is not America. Be honest, what are you most scared of right now? Our president. Congratulations. On behalf of the Global Mockery Department, we would like to congratulate you on being selected for a dose of light mockery. Offense. You gave no information as to which country you're from, and therefore nobody knows which president you're referring to. However, we can infer that since you forgot that the world outside of your country exists, you are likely American. Suggestion. Try to remember that the internet is a global, multinational forum, and therefore you should adjust your approach to remember that you're not just speaking to other Americans. Result, ha, ha. Little Simpsons reference for you. A little reminder, just because someone does something differently from you does not automatically mean it's wrong. That can do maths. What the F is wrong with people? Speak normal. Most of the world says maths. Well, most of the world is wrong. I discovered, I hear people say maths all the time. I have a workmate, he's from New Zealand, and he says maths. What are the kids doing? They're working on their maths. Yeah. Easy. 42. Adding in the US seems like such an obvious and easy fix, and yet, most watched TV event ever in the US. The moon landing, the finale to MASH, Super Bowl 2023, Richard Nixon resigning. Explanation. First up, for the top 30 most watched television events in history, 23 have been Super Bowls, with the second most watched one being in 2023. That said, the most watched TV event ever was the moon landing, getting 150 million active viewers when it happened. Like this one, I suppose it might be important. Like, what website was the poll posted on? What's the audience for the poll, right? Like, if it's like a quote unquote, there are obviously websites, like American websites catered to Americans. So, like, if the poll was on that website, fine. But if it's more just like a general website and you want to really know the most watched TV event, yeah, it's just simply not worded right. That's what it is. Oh, that comeback though. Knowing where in the world you are would help. Sorry, Huntsville, Alabama. Lol. I'm assuming AL equals Alabama. No assuming necessary. AL is the official United States Post Office 2-letter abbreviation for Alabama. Either you're from another country, a dumbass, and or a prick. Damn. I'm from another country, and believe it or not, we aren't all familiar with every state name and abbreviation in the US, which is why I was clarifying. I know into which category from your list you fall. By your reply, though. Legendary. That's a good reply, man. Smack 'em. I guess because my proximity, I'm Canadian, I'm close to the US, I'm exposed to a lot of American media, and I've heard Huntsville, Alabama, likely in like TV shows and movies and stuff. Serious question. Why would any other country celebrate Thanksgiving? Do you have any traditional dishes eaten on Thanksgiving Day in the United Kingdom? If so, what are they, and how do they differ from their American counterparts? Stuffing versus bread sauce. Thanksgiving is an event held in the United States to celebrate the religious nut jobs leaving my country and not starving in what was then called the New World. People in my country celebrated when these people left and probably danced on the rooftops when the ships disappeared over the horizon. After that, they were quickly forgotten until Cora came along to remind us what a lucky escape we had. Nice. And why would 9/11 matter to a band of Brits? They released WMYB on 9/11. 14 years ago today, One Direction released What Makes You Beautiful. It's stupid. Y'all in America are genuinely convinced that the world revolves around you. Like, actually fascinating. The South Park episode that satirized boy bands and girl bands, that was chef's kiss. So good. I'm so tired of saying it, but I have to say it. Other countries exist. I requested divorce, but he declined. You do not need his permission to start a divorce. She very well might, depending on where she lives. There is no state... Okay. Assumptions. Forgetting the world exists. Oh, God. Remember, internet strangers are not, by default, Americans. Have some respect for your leaders. Trump is your president. Since when? Since my vote got him elected. In Estonia? Americans are like bots that just have no self-awareness. NPCs, right? With red hats on. Reddit is especially bad with this. What surprisingly legal thing in your country would shock most foreigners? Recreational marijuana and same-sex marriage. Which state is it? Canada. Nice. Reddit is not just for Americans. Why is everything on here in French? This one again. This stuff is about the place, not the language. Reddit is American. We speak English. Edit. Touchy bunch, I guess. Some of you are downright mean. Well, you are downright stupid, so. There are other nations where people speak English, you know. Why did you buy it with this plug? Because this type of plug fits into the sockets in my house. But these plugs fit into outlets that don't exist in the US. How is it possible to have outlets? I can't read what that says. Because I don't live in the US. Then why are the captions in your video in English? Because I'm Scottish, which means my native language is English. Speak American! I feel like this person could have answered their own question if they had done a single second of thinking. My friend with an illegal status was picked up by the Tunisian police. Haven't heard from him since. What could happen? My friend, who doesn't have legal status in Tunisia, from Cameroon, was taken by the police recently, and I haven't heard from him since. I'm really worried and unsure about what happens in these situations. Has anyone been through something similar? What are the possible outcomes, and is there a way I can find out what happened to him? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Okay, what type of responses are we going to get to this? What does Tunisian police have to do with this? Why would a foreign country's police arrest someone inside the US? It's in Tunisia. Like, this person's reading comprehension is seriously questionable. 52. We're almost there, you guys. There's 58. The West doesn't just mean the Western US. Who the F actually flexes making $20K a year? That doesn't even rent you a cardboard box in most cities. Someone who doesn't live in the West. The West and the East left my ass off. I'm from New England, and $20K a year couldn't even make it in the cheapest Colorado state here. They're bragging that I don't think they even know what they're bragging about. I did laugh. I saw a Ben Shapiro quote the other day, and it was something to the effect of, Ben Shapiro says, if young Americans can't afford to live here, then they should move to another country. And then the meme was, is Ben Shapiro saying that people should move to another country seeking a better life? Weird. Look, I get that this is distinctive, but there's more than one president in the world. Peanut butter on spatula looks like the president. Yeah, just specify. Just say it looks like Trump. It does. It does look like Trump. Trump on a spoon. Where did this person even get this idea? Why would you post this if it's not available in the US when most people with access to streaming tech live live in the US? You guys, I can't even finish this. I'm done. I need some coffee. Maybe don't correct people if you don't know what you're talking about. Native American, please don't call him Indian. Just to clarify, I'm talking about Indian people from the country of India. I'm exhausted. 56. An American holiday created for an American event. Celebrated in America. Hope this helps. Ask yourselves this. Why Europeans do not celebrate Juneteenth when they was slaves first? Ugh, I can't read this. What is this sentence structure? There's grammatical errors because Juneteenth celebrates the freeing of enslaved people in the U.S. Why would Europe celebrate an American holiday? I don't even know what Juneteenth was. Sorry. Why would anyone in Thailand accept the United States ID? State ID. Do these people use their heads, or is it just silent up there? Do you need a passport to travel freely around Thailand? Yes, you need your passport to check into hotels. They don't accept US IDs, driver's license. I guess I'll get a passport. I just didn't want to pay the fees. Well, how are you even getting to Thailand if you don't have a passport? And finally, foreign equals not in the US, apparently. I'm sitting in a tramway. I might get robbed, but other than that, I think I'd be fine. What is a tramway? It's like where the train comes through, I guess. Railway. But for the tram. What the hell is a tramway? You foreign? Question mark. This is the internet, dumbass. Foreign to where? Alright, that was good. Yeah, this person's commenting on the Thailand one. Let's ignore the fact that they thought you could use a US driver's license easily in another country. I want to know how they planned on getting into the international flight without a passport. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yes, but the poster is specifically referring to traveling to Thailand, using only a US driver's license. You also can't even travel by air domestically in the US anymore without an enhanced driver's license or a passport. Yeah, I mean, in Canada, within Canada, you can fly with your driver's license, but obviously, like how? Yeah, you can't travel internationally without a passport. So I don't understand this. People this ignorant and idiotic probably shouldn't be allowed outside unsupervised. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. That's all I know. Well, considering how the last few elections have gone, I would tend to agree. All right, we'll see you all on the next one, everybody. Peace out.